To get the most eyes on your vehicle, you need the best that the rest will see. At Lightning Wraps, you get the best at an affordable price compared to the rest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got a great car, great team. We'll execute. Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? Holy cow, baby! A dominant performance.
Gotta stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Start your engines!
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep.
Never know, y'all be loving this shit
What you
right
know
here.
about rolling?
What you gonna do?
Rolling.
What you gonna do now?
Down in the rolling.
What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this.
This is my moment now. I will be number one. They said this is how it's gonna be done. Set fire. Gonna end the game. Set fire. Gonna make a name. Set fire. Oh, you'll remember this. I'm not gonna miss, 'cause I deserve this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lightning eSports season finale here from Phoenix Raceway. Just moments away from getting these drivers girded up. I'm Oscar Jensen, joined in the booth by Bryce Shoemaker here. Bryce, it's been a long season building up until now, and now the hunt for the championship is underway, and these drivers know it. You've got 5 drivers who are all looking to come out here with the trophy. What do you think it's going to take for these drivers to come out here with that trophy tonight?
Yeah, this is the biggest thing. It's whoever's the highest finishing driver, these 5 drivers, and there's more than 5 drivers on the racetrack. They're battling against 10, 15 other drivers out here tonight. So, and you're going to have to put it together, get a race, have your strategy on point, and you just cannot make any mistakes tonight.
Yeah, mistakes are going to need to be put behind you. You've had a whole season to prep for tonight's race, and again, if you're one of those championship drivers, Robert Kahn, Michael Laird, Chris Schreiber, Mike Ryder, or Barry Nelson, you have the chance at being this season's champion. And you know, the driver who we expected to see here who is not in this picture is Bud Shear. So, you know, as good as his season went off to, these past couple of weeks have been rough.
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of talked about it last season. We'd seen the one driver in here that wasn't here last season. That's Robert Kahn. It looks like just the curse of being the defending champion. It's really hard to get back to that Final 4 or Final 5. So right now, Robert Kahn has the most experience entering this championship race. He knows how to get it done. If I had to put money on someone, I'd put the experience behind the wheel. So Robert Kahn's definitely going to be a favorite here tonight.
Agreed to that. Now we got Barry Nelson, who is going to start us off on the front row. Robert Kahn to his outside. Getting ready into the restart zone. We're green flag racing. We're off and away from the season finale. A great start out front between Barry Nelson and Robert Kahn. Side by side for the race. Lead as they come around to lap 1. Robert Kahn working that high side. Barry Nelson needs a wiggle right there. Truth Hope as well in the 55 right behind them. Has a big bobble, and that allows Christian Schreiber to take that third spot away.
Yeah, we're seeing it already very early. These drivers were not in the trucks last season, so this is their first time being at Phoenix in the trucks. And you may not think it, but these have a little bit more horsepower and less downforce than those ARCA cars. So we're already starting to see it. It's hard to get the power down on the exits, and these guys are very loose to start this race.
Yeah, now take us back to last season. In that one, you know, you mentioned that being a different car. That was the ARCA car that we were racing at the time. But drivers still figured out that this track, especially coming off of turn 4, is so slippery. It's so slidey. You see the 75 and Michael Ware working to the inside of the teammates, Sean Burke and Bud Shear there. But this track, I mean, you just got to be so throttled. Like, I'd say easy, but you got to be so just gentle on it, and you don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, this track is so momentum-based with the long sweep in the corners. You make one mistake, you can easily lose 1, 2, 3 positions very easily. So, and not to mention, if you start burning those rear tires up, as we're seeing some drivers do now, they're going to be struggling even more at the exit. That's the number one thing you don't want to do here, is burn up their rears at Phoenix Raceway.
You talk about not needing to burn up those rears. Well, let's look much forward into our top 2 drivers. Barry Nelson, Chris Driver, leading the way over this championship field. We go back to seeing Jesse Fox trying to work around Bud Shear back here. But I mean, Robert Kahn as well, right back in the picture. And you have Truth Hoke in the mixture. So, I mean, Bryce, if you're a Truth Hoke in this kind of, I wouldn't say awkward position necessarily, but, you know, you're racing around these 3 guys you're racing for, and actually 4 guys, as you see Michael Ware right back behind him as well. What really do you think Truth Hoke, what do you think his mindset necessarily needs to be here and keep in mind while racing these guys?
Yeah, we've talked about this all season long for those drivers that didn't make the postseason, but you're still racing your own race. You're still trying to build that momentum, as we have our first caution of the race out actually right now.
Yeah, first caution comes out here on the track. Looks like it's going to be Chantel in the 05 that brings it out, but it looks like it occurred off of turn number 2, I believe. We'll go back and take a look at it here. But, you know, Bryce, I think, like, the one thing that we also got to remember, too, is these championship drivers, they're in here in this last round for a reason. They've been some of the most consistent drivers week in and week out. Obviously, we had that wild card pick that, you know, allows a driver to bro, I wouldn't say get an easy pass, but they get a second pass into fighting for the trophy. And, you know, that's sometimes all it really takes is just a second chance. And thankfully, the drivers in the Lightning Esports series, if they're lucky enough, do get that. And that, you know, if you're one of the other drivers, that can feel like a bit of an upset. But also, I mean, I feel like each one of these drivers knows that they each are capable of coming out here with a championship trophy when all is said and done.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about that wild card. Guess who got it? It was Barry Nelson. We see Barry Nelson run up front every week, so he is definitely a deserving driver this final round, and he gets pulled tonight, and he's led every lap so far. So, you know, we want to talk about if he deserves it or not. Well, he's showing that he deserves it tonight early on in this race.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Barry Nelson, we look at his stats throughout the season. He's been right up there in the mix. It's not like he hasn't been up there. It's just really another part of this season is having luck on your side. And unfortunately, Barry Nelson has not had luck go his way, as we'll take a quick look side by side here at the incident that happened with the 05 of Chantel. But luck, I mean, Bryce, you know it and I know it. Through these long seasons, luck has to go your way, and you have to be able to stay within the fight each week. And even if you have one bad week, that doesn't necessarily put you out of the picture.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're about to take the green flag here, Barry Nelson elects to take that outside line, so this will be very interesting to see how this plays out. The first driver to choose that outside, so we'll have to see how this plays out for Barry Nelson.
And pace car works itself on the pit road on the exit of turn 2, so these drivers have a bit of a ways to pace until they actually get into the restart zone. But we're going to be back to green flag racing. Here we set to go once again. Green flag back in the air. A little bit of a stack up there with Rusty Jordan in that third inside row. But up at the front, these guys under fire as they head into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, really great start there for Chris Schreiber, who's going to take the lead off the outside. So our first championship hunt for the win is already underway. First lead change of the race as well. So this is going to be very important. The two championship hopefuls are trying to get clean air, and I think Barry Nelson right there probably put that in the back of his mind for the next restart if he ever becomes the leader again. Maybe not to choose that outside.
Yeah, late decision is so crucial. You really need to be able to, I wouldn't say make the correct call. I'd say you need to be able to go with what your gut feels like, and you need to be able to learn. And I mean, right now, that was a good opportunity to learn. Get it out of the race early on so that you don't figure that out later and maybe a restart where it could decide the championship. I mean, we know that sometimes these things come down to a late race caution and you only have a lap or two to work with. So good little experimental there early on to figure out what lane works and what lane doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we're starting to get more laps clicked off, these drivers are starting to learn a little bit more. Starting to get single filed out. Looks like our first battle was around 5th or 6th position there. But good racing up front as always.
You'll see Robert Kahn, Jesse Fox. They're going to work it out coming off the exit of 2. Robert Kahn now takes that position away from Jesse Fox. Jesse Fox also another one of those drivers who has had a rough few weeks, but he's kind of been up there in the mix. He had some speed at Michigan, but unfortunately, I don't think it got the result that he probably wanted. But Jesse Fox, I think, going into next year could potentially be one of those drivers that you have to keep your eye out for.
Yeah, I feel like we had this conversation last season too. There's just always those couple drivers that are standout drivers, but just aren't quite there yet from being contenders for wins. And then we see the next season is when they take that next step forward and we see them battling hard for the win. So Jesse Fox is definitely going to be one to keep your eyes on for next season for sure. And
I mean, you talk about drivers who may be trying to work themselves you know, maybe a little bit up through kind of seasons after season, but we also got to remember there is a championship slouch in this league, which has really bitten Robert Kahn 2 seasons ago. This season, it's kind of a bitten bunch here towards the end of the season here. So, I mean, you know, you also got to factor that into play. And I know a few times we've also had a broadcaster's curse as well. Not that that really plays into too much effect, but you know, there's just things that can change and happen so quick. So I mean, you'll see guys that you don't think will be a contender the next season. They become a big thing, and then you know, maybe again they have that slouch or something the next following season. You're gonna be like, oh hey, where did they go? But there's just so many ups and downs throughout the season, and as well as a race car driver, it'll play with your feelings a lot.
Yeah, and that almost makes me like, do you really want to win that championship that badly? Because I mean, we're seeing Wetch here. I don't even think he's currently in the top 5 right now, so that just a little slump of his has continued on into the final race. So I'd probably imagine with not being able to win this championship this season, we'll probably see Butch here back to contending for wins, dominating more races next season, and whoever wins tonight, we might see them in a slump. And when a driver gets into a slump, that's when we see these new contenders up front. So it'll definitely be interesting to see if that carries on into next season and who can be those new contenders.
Now we're also taking a look here at the weather display quick as well. Right now showing 78 degrees out, track temp 81. Obviously it is a night race. There's a little bit of cloud cover, which doesn't really play too much of a factor into these night races, but those winds are a little bit high, sitting at 8 miles an hour. So Bryce, we talked about the exit of 4 being a handful, and you know, that wind, it'll definitely play a factor, but the good news is it is a night race, so they will have a little bit more grip than what we would probably see during a day race.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, for like invisible forces that we like to talk about, you know, winds can definitely have a big effect on the handling of the truck, and I think that is why we're seeing them get loose off of 4 right there, is where that wind is picking up at. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on, even with it being a cooler night race. That is something that can bite them, especially if we get a late race restart and these guys have to push the truck as hard as they can.
Well, Truth Hoke leads the way here. Christian Shriver in second, followed by his championship competitor Barry Nelson in third. Those two sit second and third for this championship, leading the way. We have to go back a ways, just outside the top 5 to see our next couple of drivers. Oh, Chris Shriver, Barry Nelson, contact into the inside wall, no caution. But wow, that destroyed the front end of Shriver's truck.
Yeah, that is huge playoff implications. Major damage to both of those vehicles. And we're already starting to see Barry Nelson start to fall back, and I'm going to expect the same for Shriver, who is missing his left front fender. That truck is really, really damaged.
Yeah, that wasn't like a spin and just tapping that inside wall. That was full left front into that inside wall, entering 3. I'm not quite sure if there is. I don't think there was really too big of contact there. I just think it was maybe a misjudgment, or maybe trying to pinch off Barry Nelson. I mean, you know, these two drivers know what's on the line, and they can't give an inch. As you see, oh, another close call there between Nelson and Shriver. So I mean, these drivers, they know what's on the line, and unfortunately, both these two are going to have some serious damage here early on.
Yeah, we talked about non-playoff drivers. Hoke is the first one to take advantage of that. I believe he has the lead now, so really good avoidance by him, who was right there when that went down. And right now, Shriver and Barry Nelson, I think they're hoping for that caution to come out. I mean, they still have the championship lead, I believe, right now, but they're going to definitely fall through this field as these tires wear.
Yeah, I mean, that really just extended Truth Hope's lead to over a straightaway and really stacked up the rest of the field back here. I mean, you see all these guys back here, Rusty Jordan trying to get himself around the two injured race trucks, Barry Nelson and Chris Driver, but Shearer right there in second in front. So, I mean, but definitely the luckiest driver to get through there, but he's got a lot of ground to make up before he catches the 55 of Truth Hope. And really, that, if that was closer to the end of this race, that could be the championship deciding factor. Now, it could still be, but you'll see these drivers will have to make at least a pit stop, and you see Robert Kahn as well working himself up. So even though there is some early issues, and like you mentioned, Bryce, probably hoping for a caution, they aren't necessarily out of this race yet.
Yeah, it must be very hard to pass it. They are holding on to their track position very well. We finally see the number 11 there finally going around, but they're still holding on pretty well, still holding the championship lead. But here comes Robert Kahn looking to change that. He's going to be on the inside. He might get this pass done in the next lap or two.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and step away for our first side-by-side break here real quick. We'll be right back with you guys for the Lightning Esports Pats Fan Truck Series season finale live from Phoenix Raceway.
To get the most eyes on your vehicle, you need the best at the Rascal seat. At Lightning Wraps, you get the best at an affordable price compared to the rest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information.
Is your day not going so well? Might as well just put on them headphones. Let's race.
Hands on my steering wheel, drivers looking for the steal. Everyone watching from the grandstands. Nobody wants to miss this chance. Hitting over 8 whoppers and RPMs. Cars feeling like it's going to spin. Not gonna let these tires slip out under me because I'm coming up past the top 3.
Whoa.
You can't stop what won't stay dead, 'cause there's a dead man racing right up
You got a great car, great team. We'll execute. Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight till the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down.
Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out.
Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory, this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Gotta stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Start your engines.
What you know about rolling down in the down in the what you know about rolling, rolling, rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling, rolling. What you gonna do? Down in the rolling, rolling, rolling. What you gonna do? Right, don't be loving this.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lightning Esports Pats Fans Truck Series, live from Phoenix Raceway for the season finale. Right now, Truth Hoke leads the way over Robert Kahn. Robert Kahn leads that championship fight. We saw the 11 of Jason Henry work him, or Rusty Jordan, excuse me. The 11 of Rusty Jordan, not the 11 of Jason Henry. Jason Henry, though, is also out here. But we saw Rusty Jordan work himself onto pit road there, under side by side, as well as seeing that battle for third to fourth still working itself out. And Bryce, we were kind of talking on the commercial there about how heavy and significant that left front of Christian Shriver in the 14 is, and he's going to work himself on the pit road now. But boy, unless he sees another caution here, that damage isn't really going to be able to get fixed on pit road under a green flag pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely. They're really banking on a caution right now for this team. That is just so unfortunate. The more this goes green, that's the worse it's going to get for them. We can already see how hard it is to pass with it being a nighttime at Phoenix. So just really banking on a caution. I don't know how much they can really get repaired. Like we've seen, they're missing a whole fender. So that truck is definitely, it has a couple minutes of damage to it for sure.
Barry Nelson continuing around. He was also in that Truth Hoke. He's going to stay out a lot of the field, though, working themselves onto pit road at this lap, or the previous lap or two. So, I mean, green flag pit stops definitely picking up here as we come around to finish lap 41, now working on lap 42. So, Truth Hoke, I mean, we saw him, I believe it was at Richmond, correct, who made that last lap aggressive move to get the win on the season, I believe, correct, Bryce?
Yeah, that was Richmond.
Yeah, so an aggressive move to put himself in the victory lane there at Richmond. This time around, though, I mean, he's been able to extend this race lead to just over 3 seconds. So, I mean, and it's not like it's not continuing to grow, but, I mean, you just got to wonder if maybe Truth Hoke wanted to put that sort of crowd that booed him at the finish of Richmond and maybe silence him in winning this race on speed. We'll see if he can work himself around here for the almost just over halfway part of this race. Right now, though, that 55 truck looks really fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about that Richmond incident, I was in the garage area, got to speak with Truth Hoke a little bit there, and you know, he was very remorseful about how that race ended and all that. So, you know, this is definitely one way to really silence that talk about that finish and all that, is by coming out here being fast, putting on a clean, dominating performance like he is now, and that'll really at least silence that Richmond race just a little bit. So Truth Hoke definitely doing everything he needs to do here tonight, and you know, he has that 3-second lead, and he has room to play with. Maybe be one of the last ones to pit to have the freshest tires, and maybe even keep that track position after that. So he's definitely putting together a fantastic race.
And we talk about another driver back here currently running in second position, able to take it away. Bud Shear, though, he's going to work himself on the pit road this lap. And again, Bryce, we kind of talked it earlier in this race here, but had an outstanding breakout first part of the season. Unfortunately, these playoffs have just not gone his way, was not able to carry over to this final round, and finds himself out of the hunt to defend his series title from last season. Robert Kahn, who worked himself on the pit road that last lap as well, making his pit stop. He'll be off and away here. So continuing to pick up on pit road, Truth Hoke, we go back around, continuing to stay out. So, I mean, Bryce, I don't really see any wrong call with the 55 here. I mean, you got that big lead. It was about 5 seconds before Bud Shear and Robert Kahn pitted. I mean, you can really run this thing out as long as you want, as long as you don't run out of fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely the safest place as well, because if there's a caution at all that happens during the pit cycle, you can easily go one and not maybe even 2 laps down. So definitely the safest call, and I do think tires matter a lot too. So I feel like even if he loses the lead during the cycle, I feel like he'll still be close enough with the tire advantage that he can go back and get that lead back himself. So definitely the smart call, the safe call. So I like what Truth Hoke is doing here, and I think he's setting himself up nice for the end of this race.
Now Sean Burke going to work himself on the pit road. He'll get his right sides. Now moving over to the left sides, he'll be off and away. So Sean Burke making his pit stop, and I think we will have to see at least one more pit stop, which could play into some strategy. But I mean, the majority of these guys, you know, kind of know what to expect here, as they have some notes to go off from last season. You see Truth Hoke, Rusty Jordan going at it here. That's gonna go to Rusty, or that's gonna go to Truth Hoke. Rusty Jordan will follow back. So Bud Shear continuing to lead out here. Rusty Jordan behind him. And then we look on to third of Bud Shear. But all eyes right now as we cross the halfway point, coming around to complete lap 51. We'll now work on lap 52. All eyes are on this 55 machine, who has taken the race lead and not looked back since. Our first championship driver currently sits back with the 14 of Chris Shriver, who has that Barry Nelson right behind him in fifth. And Bryce, by looking at it, it looks like that 14 team was able to do a good bit of repair there.
Yeah, actually, I forgot that they had this, but this thing does allow one fast repair. I believe both those drivers actually took their fast repair, because they were back up to speed and both have gone around Robert Kahn for the championship lead. So that is actually very interesting. I personally completely forgot about that fast repair they got. So I don't think Barry Nelson or Chris Shriver are actually out of this championship line at all. But they were one of the first on pay res. That's one thing we got to remember. We can see Robert Kahn running them down a little bit here. So I still think they might need a caution or a strategy to go their way, because we can see Robert Kahn is pushing that truck, and we can see how loose he is on exit.
This is the fight for the championship building up here. Robert Kahn, he's going to work on the 96 of Barry Nelson. Right in front of them will be Chris Shriver, who currently holds that spot. Robert Kahn, though, trying to capture another title. He'll move the 96 up the track, and he'll clear Barry Nelson coming up in 2. And now Robert Kahn will set his sights on the 14 of Chris Shriver.
Yeah, really good work by Robert Kahn. He's staying patient. Just got around his first championship rival. He has one more to go to get this lead for the championship hunt. So Robert Kahn's doing a really great job keeping his tires underneath him, pushing just enough to keep him in the track. You need to see those fresh tires going to work, as he's going to dive to the inside here in turns 3 and 4.
Kahn to the inside of Shriver, coming to the start-finish line. The battle for the top spot in the championship standings. It right now is a 3-truck battle. Robert Kahn on the inside, Chris Schreiber to the outside, Barry Nelson looming back behind them. But as they come off of turn number 2, Robert Kahn will clear over Chris Schreiber and take that top spot away. So Robert Kahn looking to claim another series title. He will come back this lap and lead the rest of the championship drivers as Barry Nelson gets a little squirrely on entry there. Now the point in question, Bryce, what do you do if you're Chris Schreiber or Barry Nelson? You see that top spot for the championship right in front of you. How do you maintain the right mindset and not make a mistake that could completely eliminate you?
I'm not sure what they can do. I think they're still very dependent on that caution. With that damage, they were just forced to pit road so much earlier. So we were talking about with True Coke how he could stay out so much later with his tires mattering. I think it's the same thing here. You just see how much faster Robert Kahn is already getting stuff by a good amount. So right now, I think a caution is what's going to save the championship hopes of both Barry Nelson and Chris Schreiber.
And you see Barry Nelson trying to work around Chris Schreiber, trying to take that spot away. And, you know, Bryce, we talk about it a lot. Caution at any point in this race would really change things, especially like you mentioned, the outcome for Barry Nelson and Chris Schreiber. You see, oh, they almost wash up and collect each other there. Almost a slight bit of contact, but I mean, they see that 21 of Robert Kahn in front of them just get further and further away. The speed out of this race truck here tonight and this driver are just unbeatable, and they're showing the speed as maybe a slight bit of contact they're coming off of too, but I mean, this 21 is showing the speed that they have, and they're showing that they are gonna be the ones to beat.
Yeah, we talked about it before going green. Robert Kahn just has that experience of the championship for experience. And you have Chris Schreiber and Barry Nelson, who felt like they were the ones to beat tonight. They had the speed. And then that incident completely takes them out of contention. And I think that's just where Robert Kahn's experience is going to come in. He's not going to overdrive the truck like those other two. They might do, just trying to get everything you can out of that truck to catch Robert Kahn. So I think it's just that experience that Robert Kahn has. He's been here, he's done that. So that's just, it means so much in this type of a format.
Yeah, I mean, consistency and speed, really, this format, you just gotta be there each week, and, you know, we're gonna continue to talk about it, but the unfortunate side of things with this format, you know, we looked at Bud Shear, who didn't make it in, but the rest of these guys who made it in, I mean, they were able to have a little bit better luck, and we take a look up at the top spot with True Hope, who just continues to just go lights out here at Phoenix Raceway with the race lead. He's got a large gap over second place Rusty Jordan, who actually just now gets passed by Robert Kahn. So Robert Kahn will take that second place away from Rusty Jordan. Rusty Jordan will fall back to third. So now Robert Kahn will set his eyes on not only the championship title, but as well try and trace down the 55 of Truth Hope for the race lead.
Yeah, this is going to definitely be interesting to see how this plays out. I think Robert Kahn was also one of the last ones on pit red, so he does have similar tires than Truth Hope. So we'll have to see if he can start making up some ground for not only the championship lead, but he wants that race win as well. So we'll have to see if he can start eating into that gap.
$66 laps down, working on lap 67. We're gonna go ahead and take our second and last side-by-side commercial break. You guys won't miss a thing though, as you are currently watching the Lightning eSports Pants Fans Truck Series live from Phoenix Raceway for the season finale When we come back, we will finally be able to crown our champion once the checkered flag waves.
To get the most eyes on your vehicle, you need the best of the Rascal seat. At Lightning Wraps, you get the best at an affordable price compared to the rest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information.
Is your day not going so well? Might as well just put on them headphones. Let's race.
Hands on my steering wheel, drivers looking for the steal. Everyone watching from the grandstands. Nobody wants to miss this chance. Hitting over 8 whoppers at all PMs. Cars feeling like it's going to spin. Not gonna let these tires slip out under me because I'm coming up past the top 3.
Whoa.
You can't stop what won't stay dead, 'cause there's a dead man racing right up
We got a great car, great team. We'll execute. Our time. We know what we got to do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep.
Never know we'll be loving this shit
What
right
you know
here.
about rolling?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Down in the rolling.
What you gonna do? Right, don't be loving this.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lightning eSports Pats Fan Truck Series live from the season finale from Phoenix Raceway. I'm Oscar Jensen, joined by Bryce Shoemaker in the booth here tonight. And Bryce, we were kind of talking under commercial about how the pit strategy could play out here. I mean, obviously, if you're Truth Hope, you've got a large lead at this point. It's really been built up by almost straight away. So I mean, if you're Truth Hope in the 55, really the only thing that will keep you out of victory lane here is either a caution or a mistake on pit road. So, you know, not as big as a situation if you make a mistake if you're the 55 with Truth Hope, but obviously you want to come out here with the season finale and get a race win. So I mean, what really do you think this 55 needs to do to execute this pit stop perfectly?
Honestly, just don't overthink it. Don't speed, obviously. Don't be too aggressive. And probably just, again, be one of the last ones on pit road just in case that caution comes out, just to be on the safe side. So I think that's about it. I think he has this wrapped up pretty well. He's doing such a great job. We haven't seen him slip the wheel once. And, you know, he just has the most important thing at Phoenix. He has clean air. He hasn't had to deal with anything. So even where he's not even having to deal with lap traffic or anything, so he's not overheating his tires or anything like that. So he just needs to keep on doing what he's done all night long, and he's gonna have this one wrapped up, I think.
And drivers who need to keep themselves under their wings. Robert Kahn, he just made him his final pit stop of the night. Chris Shriver, I believe, as well, came down pit road just a minute ago. So those two drivers in this championship hunt making their pit stops. Again, we expect Truth Hoke here, and actually, as we turn back to him, he's working himself down pit road. So Truth Hoke, our race leader, will come down pit road this time by. That'll start to cycle things out here for a moment, although we do think that with the large lead that Truth Hoke did have, that it probably will come back out to him. Right now, though, Bud Shear will be cycled to the race lead again. Bud Shear wanting to come out with the season finale with another win to his name. He has some work to do to catch up to Truth Hoke.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're approaching about 20 to go here now, I think besides Truth Hoke, Robert Kahn, I think everyone else is probably hoping for a caution to come out. Maybe not the league admins or owners. They probably don't want to see this championship come down to a caution, but I think everyone else here is hoping for that caution to come out, really shake up the race. As it's just so hard to really go against someone who has built the lead out so big. Like we've seen, Robert Kahn pitted and Truth Hoke came down shortly after, so Truth Hoke is just allowing no strategy to get even close to him. So yeah, as we see Bud Shear here pitting now.
Yeah, Bud Shear works himself on the pit road. And then we will see Sean Burke, who will cycle out to the race lead here. So his teammate will now take over the race lead once he gets around Bud Shear, who is coming to the attention of his pit crew. So Sean Burke, Bud Shear playing a little bit of a later strategy, we'll call it. Again, maybe hoping for a caution here as we come down to just under 20 laps to go, sitting at lap 83. So, I mean, again, a caution at this point could fizzle things out, but I think the drivers know that with these green flag pit stops, it's kind of cycled everybody into a kind of their own groove. I mean, you see Truth Hoke back out here on track after making his pit stop. He's got that second place, and once Sean Burke decides to pit, he'll get back to the race lead. And Mike Rideout almost getting that outside wall, but again, Truth Hoke, just phenomenal job. Can't even speak so much about how this driver has really been able to find speed here these last couple of weeks, and again, just under what will be almost coming up on 15 laps to go here in just a lap and a half. What a phenomenal job out of Truth Hoke.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, 2 weeks ago, we seen what happened at Richmond going for that win. So to put all that noise behind him and just put on this performance is definitely noteworthy, and he's done such a great job tonight. With less than 15 to go here, I think the biggest thing that Truth Hoke can do here is just save those tires in case that late race caution, as these drivers only get 2 sets of tires and they've used both of them for the green flag pit stop. So if we get that caution, there will be no fresh tires, so there's going to be a lot of wheel spin on those restarts. And, you're going to have to be pushing those trucks on those old tires, so definitely save them while you can here.
And we talk about a driver who may be pushing a little bit with those newer tires. You saw the 93 of Bud Shear work himself by Robert Kahn. That wasn't for position. Bud Shear is currently... actually, sorry, that was for position. Actually, excuse me, that was for position, but it wasn't for the championship battle, so Robert Kahn didn't really put too much of a fight up with that. And Robert Kahn currently being scored in the 4th position. Really just needs to maintain these last portion of this race before we can possibly crown him the champion. Obviously, still a lot of race left in here, and you know, like Bryce mentioned, any caution at this point, you'd have to watch out for wheel spin. You'd have to really be on your A game. But I mean, right now, Robert Kahn, no pressure from behind, doing what he needs to do. Shriver and Nelson, they've lost the gap a bit. You see Shriver here working himself off of 2. Robert Kahn, we take a look, works himself off of turn number 4. So that gap between those 2 drivers, the top 2 in the championship hunt, has really spread quite wide.
Yeah, again, it's what I said earlier. Just Shriver has to pit so much earlier than Robert Kahn that there's just nothing you can do. You're gonna have the oldest tires after Robert pits, and you know, especially that second pit stop. Robert Kahn already had a huge gap to begin with before he had a pit laps earlier. So just nothing Shriver can do without a caution. He just got put in that position again because of that early wreck where he lost his left front fender and just had so much damage that he couldn't keep pace. Just unfortunately no cautions tonight. Like we said at the beginning of the show, you cannot have mistakes in the championship finale. If you have even one in your championship hopes are dashed.
Truth Hope works around. We'll see 10 laps to go that last time by at the start-finish line. So now, as he comes across the start-finish line this time by, he will see 9 laps to go. Truth Hope just needs 9 more good laps, and he'll be able to collect another win on this season. Mike right out behind him in the 76 that you see in frame. He went a lap down a few laps ago. He'll need a caution to get back on the lead lap. Then we also see Sean Burke right behind him. He is also currently scored 1 lap down. Bit behind him though, we have to go all the way back, almost 10 seconds, to see our second place driver, Bud Shear, again trying to end the season on a high note after missing out of the final round of the playoffs. But none other right behind him, the guy who's looking to hold strong, Robert Kahn in the 21. His team knows they are just laps away from claiming another title. They don't need to see a caution. They don't want to see any mistakes out of this driver, Bryce. These last handful of laps can be the most intense laps out there on the track.
Yeah, you said it yourself. These are going to be the longest laps of his iRacing career for sure. They go by forever. You're just overthinking every little thing. You're hearing every little thing. Now, you might also have the teammates in the ear as well. They're probably reporting on what they're seeing on the racetrack. That can get you overthinking as well. So, just the biggest thing is to stay calm. Make sure you're breathing and all that good stuff. Don't overthink these things and just get these laps done and clean line. You have the gap to work with too, so you don't even have to push your truck at this point.
Robert Kahn 6 laps away from being crowned this season's champion as he work across this time by. Oh boy, that was a little close right there, but you know, he keeps it going. Robert Kahn,
yeah,
though,
I don't think he's following the advice I have given him. He's definitely not watching the broadcast at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say Robert Kahn had a big moment there coming off of turn 4. We'll see if maybe he got a message from his team to back it down just a bit. Looks like it'll be a cleaner, more distance off the wall that lap, but that was definitely a close one in, Bryce. that would have been interesting if that was any worse or any harder of an impact. But again, I think Robert Kahn knows that he might have overstepped that line just a bit. And as we pan back to our race leader, Truth Hope, continuing to just click down these laps, put some more guys a lap down. What a statement win this would be for the driver of the 55. Truth Hope works down the back straightaway. He'll work himself through 3 and 4, and this time by Truth Hope will see 2 laps to go. From Phoenix Raceway, Robert Kahn maintaining the battle for the top spot in the championship standings. All he needs to do is work it around 2 laps as he hits the wall right there. That doesn't slow him up too much. Maybe having to back it down just a bit. I'm sure his crew chief is probably all over him there though. Working this time by through 3 and 4. Truth Hope will see the white flag in the air. 1 lap around for Truth Hope and another win on the season. Robert Kahn crosses the line. He'll see the white flag as well. 1 more lap around. All he needs is 1 good lap and he will be crowned this season's champion. Back up towards the front through 3 and 4. Truth Hope works himself off of turn number 4 and he will see the checkered flag in the air. And now we pan back once again to Robert Kahn as he works himself off of turn number 4. Robert Kahn will be crowned this season's champion with a dominating performance out of this 21 team in the playoffs. And boy, when it mattered the most, it counted. And he will take home another championship trophy.
Yeah, what a race by everyone. Besides the first caution of the race, wow, it was super early. Just super clean short track racing. We've seen the one incident that really decided the championship between Shriver and Barry Nelson, and Robert Kahn with this experience just took full advantage and never looked back. So congratulations to both Truth Hope for picking up his 2nd win of the season, and Robert Kahn for becoming a 2-time champion of the Lightning eSports series.
Yeah, 2-time champion, at least who out here. I mean, what a well-deserved win out of this 21 of Robert Kahn. And again, Truth Hope getting the race win. What a heck of a drive by both these drivers out here tonight. And congrats again to Robert Kahn on the championship drive this season. A well-deserved and a well-earned, and I think a happy fan base will be out there to see the 21 of Robert Kahn take home this season's title. Well, he's going to go ahead and celebrate some more and try and figure out where he wants to park this thing. But, you know, Bryce, as we look back at this season, what the highs and lows really brought for all these drivers out there. I mean, we're never going to talk about how unlucky of a break the driver of the 93 Bud Shear had. I mean, there's also other good drivers as well. Truth Hope, you know, really came to life these past couple of races. Robert Kahn obviously being so consistent here. Didn't start off the season with a lot of wins, but as it really turned into what would be the playoffs and what mattered the most, he turned up those burners and found himself finding success, capturing another trophy on the championship rack, we would call it. And Bryce, I think the highlight of this season for me was really just seeing all these drivers be so competitive week in and week out. I know you missed a few races here and there, but ultimately that was probably one of the best seasons that I've probably seen out of the Lightning eSports.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, series that changes up the vehicle every season just really changes up how these drivers approach race weekend. And, I mean, we've seen it. You talked about it. Robert Kahn was just a little bit slow out of the gate, but all he was doing during that regular season was just learning what the truck will give him. And the moment the playoffs started, he kicked on the afterburners, and we've seen the dominant performance of Robert Kahn that we're usually seeing. So I don't know what's in store for next season, but if we see another new vehicle for the Lightning eSports series, then it's going to be exciting, and I think we're going to see the same thing. And we talked about Truth Hope. I'm going to have my eyes on him for next season. We've seen dominating performances that we haven't seen out of him in the 2 seasons we've done together. So Truth Hope, I think, has finally picked up on something, and I think he's going to be competing for a championship next season.
Yeah, another one of those drivers that I think we should throw in the bucket list as well is Chris Shriver, who, you know, he was kind of one of the underdogs. I mean, he definitely had the speed. He had that win there at I'm trying to remember what it was. What was it? Bryce, back me up here. It was one of the short tracks that we saw a few weeks ago. Was it the No, it was it was the Milwaukee Mile. So we saw him capture the win at the Milwaukee Mile, which really, kind of started to turn things around. But I think Chris Shriver, I mean, minus the difficulties that he had there with the run-in between him and Barry Nelson, I think, maybe another full season under his belt, and we could see him maybe being that next season's champion.
Yeah, absolutely, and I can definitely see that too. I can't wait to see how next season plays out with all these drivers. There's so many drivers that are improving so much. So, yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how that translates to next season.
For sure, Bryce. And, I just want to say thank you to all you guys out there. I know that, obviously, this is our second season. This is our second full season with the Lightning Esports League. And, it's been such a blast to get to know these guys. And I said it towards the end of last season, but I definitely do think that this is just the beginning with a good partnership between the league and Turn Sector Media. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in here weekly, and we look forward to bringing some new stuff here next season. I'm still working on a lot of stuff on the back end for Turn Sector Media that I look to fully bring in to these broadcasts. So we look forward to the kickoff of next season, and that'll start here. A little bit longer of a break this off season that the drivers will have. We have to wait until September 13th to kick off next season. So a little bit longer of a break than what we had this time around. But again, these drivers will come back hungry, and I think we'll see another great season ahead of us. Bryce, before we end things though, is there any last things you want to add to the broadcast here tonight?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you again to all the league admins and owners that puts on Lightning Esports and allows us to broadcast for them. Always makes my Sunday night fantastic driving, clean driving, and exciting moments for sure. So can't thank them enough. And just got to thank all the sponsors that puts on the show for us: the Metalheads, Pets Fan, SimLabs, IMB Raceway, and all those amazing sponsors that helps put the league on. So I got to thank them too for allowing this to happen. And again, I can't wait for next season and can't wait to see how it all unfolds.
Yeah, and we take a look at those sponsors here on the ticker real quick. So again, thank you to all these guys who have made this season possible. So many out there to thank. Make sure you guys check them all out. Whether that's on their website, Facebook, social medias, each one of these sponsors has brought a tremendous joy to each one of these drivers. And again, we hope to see these guys back again next season with the league sponsorship. And again, this next season is just going to be a wild one, I think. And we're going to have so many newcomers, I think, as well. We're going to see the returners, the veterans of the series return and put on what will probably be another heck of a championship battle. Until then, though, guys, thank you guys for tuning in here for tonight's championship season finale. We look forward to seeing you guys back here again next season for the Lightning Esports series. And until next time, you guys have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you guys later.
get the most eyes on your vehicle, you need the best at the Rascal seat. At Lightning Wraps, you get the best at an affordable price compared to the rest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
You got a great car, great team. Let's go execute. Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The afterchecks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory, this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
You gotta say no, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep.